Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. In this video I will show you in ASP.NET using C# coding how to create a basic student management system. And here we got the home page. Let's add the admin details. Admin, and the password is the admin123. Let's log in. After I log in successfully, this is the admin page. Now first we'll add a new course. The course name I'm adding PHP. The course duration is 3 months. 3 months. And the course fees is 3,500. Let's insert new course. And here we got a message, the course PHP is saved successfully. After adding the course, now we'll assign a teacher for this PHP. Teacher, I'm adding the Peter. The email ID is pet@gmail.com. The phone number is 56. The course, notice the PHP is added into this drop down list control. From the course table, I have selected the PHP and the qualification I am adding BSc Computer Science. Let's insert. And got a message that tutor Peter is saved successfully. Now the leftover is a student. Let's insert the student record, and this is a student page. The student name I am adding Charan, CH is the last name, the father name is, and the father name is Rajesh. The phone number is 897, and the father phone number is 4567889. Just for the demo purpose, I'm entering some random numbers, and the email I'm adding charan3k@gmail.com. This email is a valid Gmail ID. After insert this Charan details, I will get the receipt to this email ID and the phone number. Let's add some number 123456. The course name, I'm choosing PHP, and notice once I select the PHP, I got the course fees amount here 3,500. Now I'm paying the amount 250 rupees. I'm paying. Once I click tab, see here in the fees due, I got the remaining balance I have to pay. Let's insert record. And here we got a message, the student Charan is saved successfully and the fees receipt has been sent to email charan3k@gmail.com. So let's open my Gmail account. gmail.com. Now I'm entering the password. Click next. And here we got a message from the ironrupee.in which we have sent the email. Let's open that one. See, the subject is the receipt details, and the body, the course name, I have joined PHP. The course fees is 3,500, and the installment you have paid 250 rupees. The balance fees is 3,250. And the small note at the bottom, note the certificate will not be issued until the balance amount is clear. If you are a first time visitor to my channel, please subscribe to get the latest updates. Before creating a new project in ASP.NET, first we'll create a new database and tables in SQL Server Management Studio. I'm expanding the root folder as well as the databases folder. Now I want to create a new database in this databases folder. Right click the database, new database. I'm giving the database name is student management system. Click OK. And here the student management system is added to our databases folder. Let me expand this student management database as well as the tables folder. Right now this tables folder contains empty tables. Let's create a new tables. Right click the student management system, new query. Now let's create 3 tables for this project. The first table, which contains the course information, and the second table contains the tutor information, the teacher information, and the third one is the student details, the student table. So create table, course table is the table name, and I'm adding some columns to this table. CID, integer type, not null, primary key, identity column I'm adding to this CID column, and CNAME, which is a course name, and varchar 150, and course duration is integer type, and varchar I'm adding, and varchar 150, and the last one I'm adding the course fees integer type. The next table I'm adding the teacher table, the tutor table. The table name is tutor. Let's add some tutor columns. TID, integer type, not null. I'm adding primary key, identity column 1, 1. TNAME, which is a tutor name, and varchar 150. Tutor email and varchar 150, tutor phone and varchar 150, and the tutor course and varchar 150. And this one is integer type. And the last column I'm adding the qualification of the teacher and varchar 150. Now the final table for the student, create table student ID, integer type, not null, primary key, identity column 1, 1, student first name, F name, and varchar 150, student L name, last name, varchar 150, student father's name and varchar 150, student father phone number, integer type, student email and varchar 150, student phone, integer type, and course join and varchar 150, fees, course fees, integer type, first installment, integer type, fees due, integer type, and join date type. Let's add here also the join date, tutor, join date type. Let's create these 3 tables, execute, and here we got a message, command completed successfully. Let me refresh this full database as well as I'm expanding the tables folder. Notice here we got 3 tables, student, tutor, and course table. Let's browse the tables. Right click the course table, select top 1000 rows, and the student table, browse that one, select top 1000 rows, and the final one, tutor, select top person rows. And right now these three tables contains 0 rows. Now let's create a new project in ASP.NET. Let's create a new project. File, new project. I'm selecting ASP.NET Web Application in the .NET Framework 4.6.1. The project name is Student Management System. Is the project name. Click OK. And from the ASP.NET templates, I'm selecting empty. Click OK. And the project is created successfully. First, in this project, I'm adding my data source connection string in the web.config file. So for that, we require the data source. Open Server Explorer. Right click the data connections. Add connection. I'm adding my SQL Server name. After adding SQL Server name, now I'm selecting the database. Our database name is a Student Management System. I'm selecting that one. Test connection. Is succeeded. OK. OK. And notice the database is added under data connections folder. Right click the database. Go to properties. And in the properties, there is a connection string which contains a data source. Copy that one. Now open Solution Explorer. In this project, at the bottom there is a web.config file. Open that one to add our connection string. In the web.config file, inside the configuration, I'm adding the connection string. I'm adding connection strings. Add name is equals to my connection. Data source connection string is equals to data source. I'm adding, and the last one is a provider name, which is a system dot and data dot SQL client. After adding the connection string in the web.config file, the next step will add the web form page and the master page. First, we'll add one new web form page. Right click the project name. Add web form. The web form name is a home page. OK. And here we got our home page. Now in this home page, adding center tag, h1 tag, Student Management System. It's a basic student management system. H2 ASP.NET C# project. After that, I'm adding horizontal line. Now after the horizontal line, I'm adding the admin credentials, the username and password. Let's add the table, and table border is equals to 1, dr td admin user id td. Open toolbox. Let's add the text box control. I'm changing the ID of the text box control. Text box admin ID dr td password, and next td. So one more text box control for the password. Text txt password admin. And this the text mode I'm changing to password. And the last one TR TD. The button control, open toolbox, and this button control for the login. The button text value I am adding login. The next TD, if the login credentials failed of the admin, I want to display the error message. For that I am adding the label message, label control, and the label 1 ID I am changing to label message MSG. I am deleting the text property label. Now let's put this div tag, copy this div tag and add to the table. Let's add some style. Style is equals to border, not the border, background color, column. The background color I'm adding azure. Height 150 pixels and width 250 pixels. Let's check the design, how it looks. So it is, yeah. So now the next step, I'm double click the login button control. Now in the login control I'm adding if text admin ID dot text double equals to admin, the user ID is the admin, and text password and text password admin dot text double equals to the password is the admin123. If the admin user ID and password is valid, I want to redirect the page response.redirect admin page dot aspx page semicolon. Else, if the credentials are failed, I want to display the error message. For this I have added the label msg dot text is equals to failed login details. Let's add this message in a red color. Source mode, the label I am adding the font color is equals to red. Now let's create the admin page. Open Solution Explorer. Before adding the admin web page, first let's add the new master page. Right click the project name, add a new item. I'm adding web form master page. The web form master page is SMS student management system dot master, add, and here we got our master page. I don't require this content placeholder in the header section, but in the div tag I'm adding new div container. Now in this div container I'm adding open toolbox link button. The first link button is course. The ID I'm changing to link course. Copy this one. Let's give some gap. NBSP. Copy this one, paste here, and the second link button LNK is the teacher. teacher, and the link button for the third one is a student. And the last link button for the logout. And above the link buttons, I am adding a simple label control. Open toolbox, label control. I am deleting this label control, and the label ID I am changing to label user login. I'm going to user login. Let's add some style. Div style is equals to background color colon. The background color I'm adding some blue. And that's it. The designing part looks like this. This is the designing part. Now we'll add some header, add some center tag, small center tag, copy this one and put here at the bottom. H1. The H1 is basic student management system. After that, I'm adding horizontal line. Let's add some space also. Copy this one, paste and paste. That's it. I have added the designing part in the master page. We have a link buttons and one content placeholder. Now let's add. We require the admin page. Copy this one. Right click the project name, add web form with master page. Select that one. The page name is the admin page. Okay. I'm selecting our master page sms.master. Click OK. And here we got the content page, the admin page.aspex page. Now in this content page, I'm adding H1. This is admin page. Now let's add 3 other pages. One is the course details to enter the course page, student page and the teachers page. Again open Solution Explorer, right click the project name, add web form with master page, and the page name is a course page, add, and I'm selecting the master page. Okay. And here we got the content page of the course page. H1. This is course. Right click the project name, add web form with master page. This is the tutor page. Okay. I'm selecting the master page for the tutor page. Okay. H1. This is tutor page. And the final page I'm adding is a student. Right click the project name, add web form with master page, student page. Click OK. I'm selecting the master page. Click OK. H1. This is student page. We have 4 pages linked with the master page. Those 4 pages are admin page, course page and tutor page and student page. The web home page is a simple web form page. And now switch to the master page, switch to the design mode, double click the course page, and here I've got a link response dot redirect The response.redirect method takes the string URL. So between double quotes, I'm adding the string URL. I'm adding the course page .aspx semicolon. Again, switch back to the master page, source page. Double click the teacher link button. Response.redirect. The teacher is the tutor page. Double click the student. Student page. And the last one is the logout. In the logout, once I click the logout link button, I want to clear all the sessions. http context dot current dot session dot abandon. So after adding the session dot abandon method, I want to response dot redirect to the home page. Home page dot aspx. This page I want to redirect. Now in the home page, switch to the design mode, double click the login button control. I'm using sessions to pass the admin user ID to the master page. Session, I'm adding the session name is admin name is equals to, between double quotes I'm adding welcome plus the session username we are getting from the text box control. So let's add here semicolon. Now I'm passing this session variable to the master page. Switch to the code behind of the master page. In the page load, if session, the session name is admin, between double quotes, admin is not equals to null, which means the session variable we have passed, and that value I want to display in the label control. Lab user login dot text is equals to session admin dot toString method. Else, if the session value is empty, I want to redirect to the login page, which is the home page. So for that I'm using a response.redirect method. Between double quotes I'm adding homepage.aspx, this page name. Now let's check the output up to now what we have done on the browser. Homepage.aspx page, Google Chrome. And here we got the output of the project. The first one is a home page, which contains a admin user ID and password. The admin user ID we have given, which is admin, and the password I'm giving the wrong password. Click login. See, here we got the failed login details, the validation message. Let's add the admin 123 login. After I log in successfully, we have redirect to the admin page.aspx, and this page contains the content page. This is admin page, and notice in the master page the menu, the welcome admin, the user ID, which is the admin, and which contains the 4 links. One is a course, this is a course page, teacher, this is a tutor page, the student page, and the logout. So once I log out, when I click back, see it's not allowing to access that pages. For example, if I add here student page, any of the page, the admin page, and notice it's kicked back to the home page because we are not adding any user credentials. Once more I'm testing here. If I add the tutor page, see, again it switched back to the home page only. So now let's enter the user details again. Admin, the password is the admin123, login. Again log out. Now let's write the coding part to add the course details in the course table. Switch to the coding part. Visual Studio, stop debugging, and here we got the course page. Now after the H1, I'm adding the table border is equals to 1. Let's close the table, tr, td. Let's add the label course name, td. The text box control, open toolbox, text box control. The text ID I'm changing to text course name. The next tr, td. In our course table, this is a course table. We have 4 columns: CID, CNAME, duration, CFees, which is a course fees. CID column is auto generate column. You got the CNAME, course name. Second one is the duration. Let's add that one. Course duration, td. Another text box control, text box, duration, and the last column, td, course fees, td. The course fees, I'm adding another text box control, text, the course fees. And the last one, tr, td. In this td, I'm adding the button control to insert the course details. The button control, the button ID I'm changing to course, and the label name, insert new course. And the next td, I'm adding the label control to display the message, the record the course new details are saved successfully or not. Open toolbox. I'm adding the label control, the label msg. I'm deleting the text label property, and the 4 color I'm adding, which is a green. And now let's add the div tag. Copy this div, come to the bottom, add this div here. Let's add the style is equals to background color is equals to. In the home page, we have added the color source. Let's add that one here. Semicolon. And the height and width, color, background color has gone. Home page, let's add this background color again. And the course page, source, background color. Now we got the color here. Now double click the button control. Now in the button control, before adding the coding part, the first thing we have to import the namespaces using system.data, SQL client, using system.configuration. After adding these three namespaces, now in the button click, string main con is equals to configuration manager dot connection strings, between double quotes I'm adding the web.config file. Open that one, my connection name, which is our connection string name, dot connection string, and SQL connection, SQL con is equals to new SQL connection. In this SQL connection I am adding main con object. Now let's string SQL query is equals to, the SQL query is a insert statement, insert into the table name, which is a course table, dbo.course table. Copy this one, paste here, and the column names are cname, copy this one, second one is duration, and the last column is a fees. Values at cname at duration at cfees. SQL command, SQL com is equals to new SQL command. In this SQL command I am adding SQL query, the command text, comma, and the second parameter is a connection object, which is a SQL con. Copy this one and paste here. Next, SQL con.open method, and I am closing the connection string, close method. Now between this open and close connection string I am adding SQL command dot parameters dot add with a value, between double quotes, the first value at cname, the object value. Here we are getting the object from the text box controls, which is a text course name dot text, semicolon, SQL com dot parameters dot add with value, between double quotes. The second one is the at duration. Copy this one. Text, the object name is the text box control, and the last one, the course fees, which is a cfees, and the text box text fees dot text. After that, SQL com dot execute non-query method. Once the records are inserted successfully into this course table, I want to display the message. For that we have user lab message dot text property is equals to the course plus plus. Now between this plus plus I am adding the course name text dot text is saved successfully, semicolon. That's it. We have added the coding part to insert the new course details into our database table. So let's run the project. Google Chrome. Now let's enter the login details of the admin 123 is a password, login, and here we redirect to the admin page. Now let's enter the course page, which contains three text box controls: course name, duration, course fees. The course name first I'm adding ASP.NET. The course duration is 3 months, and the course fees is 5,000. Now before insert this new course details into the database table, let's check our table again. I'm executing the tables, course table, and here we got the results of this course table. Right now this table contains zeros. Let's insert the record, insert new course, and here we got a message, the course ASP.NET is saved successfully. Let's check in the database, execute, and here the ASP.NET details, the course information. Now let's add another course detail. I'm adding JavaScript. The course duration is 1 month. Is it 2500? The course fees is. Insert new course. And here we got a message, the course JavaScript is saved successfully. Let's check again in the database, execute, and here we got the JavaScript details is added successfully into this course table. Now let's add the tutor details into this tutor table. Switch to the programming part, stop debugging. Friends, here once I insert the records, I want to clear the text box control, so let's add that one also. Text is equals to empty, text duration dot text is equals to empty, text fees dot text is equals to empty. So once the record is inserted successfully, it will clear all the text box controls. Now our requirement to enter the tutor details. This is a student page. Here we got the tutor page. Let's add the due tag. Inside this due tag, I'm adding the table border is equals to 1. I'm closing this table. tr td table data. The label I'm adding in the tutors table, and the TID is the auto-generated column, the T name, tutor name, TD. I'm adding the text box control, text tutor name, tr td. The next one is the email of the tutor, text box control, text, email, tr td, phone, td. I'm adding the text box control, text, phone, tr td. So next column is the course qualification and join date. Course td. And here in the course, I'm not adding the text box control, I'm adding the drop down list control. The course details we are fetching from the course table. So let's open toolbox, add the drop down list control, and change the ID of the drop down list DDL course. TR TD qualification TD. I'm adding the text box control, text qualification, and the last one TD join date. The join date, I'm adding the label control, a literal control I'm adding. The ID of the literal label is join date. And after that, I'm adding another TR, TD. In this TD, I'm adding the button control, to insert the tutor details into our table, button tutor, insert. The next TD. Once the record is inserted successfully, I want to display the message. The record is saved or not. I'm adding label control. Label message. I'm deleting the property label, and the forecolor is equals to green. Now in the due tag, let's add the color, and the student home page. Is a home page. Here is a home page. Is a background color. Style is equals to background color. Let's adjust the height. Here the designing part it looks on the browser. Now the first, double click the button control. Let's import the namespaces using system.data, using system.data.sql client, and the last one using system.configuration. After adding these three namespaces, now in the page load, the join date, I want to display the date when page loads. So for that we have user literal join date dot text is equals to datetime dot now dot toString method. Now in the button click string, instead of writing the same code, I'm just copying this part, which it's a time saving. Instead of I'm changing the table name, the query, I'm deleting this one. So insert into the table name is DBO tutor. Copy this one, paste here. The column names, T name, T email, T phone, T course, T qualification, tutor qualification, and join date. Values at T name, comma at T email, T phone, T course, comma T qualification, and the last one is a join date. After adding the insert statement, now add with value T name, copy this one, paste here, text, tutor name dot text. The second one is T email, text email dot text. The third one is a phone, text phone dot text. Copy this one, paste here, paste here. T course. The T course, the course we are getting from the drop down list controls. So I'm adding ddl course dot selected item dot text. We are selecting the courses from the drop down list, and the t qualification text qualification dot text, and the last one is a join date. Copy this one. Friends, here I have forgot to add at symbols. At let's add the join date. The join date is the label control, which is this one, literal join date dot text, and the label message, lab message, the tutor details. The tutor name is a text box name, text ID name is saved successfully. Let's create the text box controls. Text tutor name dot text, text email dot text, text phone dot text, text qualification dot text, and the join date is the label, and the t course is a drop down list control, so I'm not adding those ones. That's it. We have added the code to insert the tutor details into this tutor table. Now one more thing, we have to fetch the course details from the course table. So I can switch back to the tutor page. Let's bind the course table to this drop down list control, choose data source, and the data source, new data source, I'm selecting SQL database, and the data source ID is the SQL data source 1. Click OK. Now let's add a new connection. The server name is user-pc SQL Express. After adding SQL server name, I'm selecting the database name, student management system. Click OK. And so after adding the connection string, next, and the connection string name is the student management system connection string, and I'm saving this connection string in the web.config file. Click next. In our database we have 3 tables, course table, student and tutor, but I'm selecting the course table because we require the course name CNAME, which I want to bind this CNAME column into the drop down list. So I have selected the CNAME. Click next, test query. In our course table we have added only 2 courses, ASP.NET and JavaScript. Let's finish that one. Okay, that's it. We have binded the column course name from the course table into this drop down list control. And also, if you notice in the web.config file, see here the connection string is added. Now we got 2 connection strings, one for the SQL data source and the second one is the coding. Switch back to the coding part again. Now let's check the output. Google Chrome. And here we got the home page. Now let's add the details. Admin details, admin, and the password is the admin123. Login. After login successfully, we redirect to admin page. Now let's enter the teacher details. Teacher, and this is a tutor page. The tutor name is Jack at gmail.com. The phone number is 1234567. The courses notice here is binded the data from the course table dynamically. And the qualification of the Jack is BTech. and the join date is a label control. Now before insert this Jack tutor details into the database, let's check the tutor table, execute, and got the results of this tutor table which contains 0 rows right now. Let's insert the Jack details, insert, and here we got a message that tutor Jack is saved successfully. And let's add the default select option for this drop down list. Switch to the code behind, stop debugging, and the tutor page, go to source mode, I'm adding ASP.list item, value is equals to 0, and the text is equals to select courses. So after that, I'm adding append data bound items is equals to true. If you don't add this property append data bound items is equals to true, the default select course option is not displayed on the drop down list control. So now let's check the output. Google Chrome. I'm adding admin details, admin user ID, the password is admin123, login for admin123, login, the teacher. So here now we got the select course label. Let's add a new tutor name, Rahul @gmail.com is the email ID, and the phone number is this much. The course is JavaScript, the qualification is MCA, insert, and here we got a message that tutor Rahul is served successfully. Let's check the database also, execute. So here we got both the tutor names Jack and Rahul is added into our tutor table. Now the leftover is the student details. Friends, I'm stopping here this video tutorial because the video length is getting longer, so I'll make into different parts, 2 or 3 parts. In the next part I'll show you how to enter the student details